I'm Chanel, this is Spirited Stardust, and we're doing part 3 of my Oracle collection. I just gotta move my rocks around. Alright, let's do it. Alright, so here we've got this bag. It's very pretty, yeah, wunderbar. Feather stitch, I love it because it's so cozy. It's the coziest stitch I do. And this is Sappho's Fragmented Oracle. I kind of edged mine in red. I printed out the little itty bitty guidebook that comes with it. This is a Sappho quoted poetry deck. So these are all from Sappho, and it's a collage style. Sorry, I just finished eating a Freddo frog, and I should have probably completely finished before I started filming, but I'm in that chaotic energy. Yeah, I love this one. This is an indie deck, and I just bonded to it real hard. I just like it a lot, and it was very unexpected. It's always a risk with those Etsy decks, you know, especially if there's no walkthroughs on YouTube. You're just rolling the dice. You're going in pretty blind, but sometimes it ends up being a perfect match, and that was the case with this one. I really enjoy it. I love the cardstock. It's a satin cardstock, but it's nice quality, and it's a colorful deck, and it goes with so many of my decks. And yeah, I really enjoy it. Even though the guidebook is tiny, so it's only got like a sentence for some of them, it still delivers, you know, it hits a spot. So this is the Sappho's Fragmented Oracle. So here you've got a blue bag in a crunch stitch. This is a crunchy bag. I'm getting you sort of back into crunch stitch. And in it, we've got Return of Spirit. So this is a mass market deck. I edged mine in a sort of electric blue to go with the backs. It is on a thick sort of glossy cardstock. This has a real retro vibe, old school feel to it. I think it is an older deck. This is not my jam aesthetically whatsoever in terms of the font, the borders, the pictures, but this deck delivers like no other. And whenever I do readings for people with this one, this is the one that whose message really resonates the most with them. It packs the biggest punch. It's got a bit of a sort of cosmic, spiritual feel and theme to it. But yeah, the guidebook is really well done. And just for whatever reason, it just knows exactly what to say to you in a way that you'll hear what you need to hear and understand perfectly what the message is. So this is the Return of Spirit Oracle. So we've got a beautiful tree of life kind of tree here with this very pretty orange, green and purple colored bag. And inside I have Oracle of the Essences 3rd edition. I love the backs on these. This is a multi-artist deck though. So we've got beautiful gold matte edging, like very soft gold. The cardstock is very thick satin cardstock. But yeah, this is, excuse me, a multi-artist deck. So there are a lot of cards I really don't like, some that are okay, and some that I really do love. So it depends on the artist. But this is a plant focused deck. So it's supposed to be plant essences. So you've got the plant, and then you've got 2 keywords on the front of the card. But once again, the guidebook is really good, and I do enjoy reading it. Yeah, so despite the fact that I don't vibe with most of the aesthetics, I do like this deck as a whole. I do find this cardstock can be a bit clumpy. Oh my God, I can't. Look, some of the cards just, they make me lol with their cheesiness, and they're just extra. A lot of the cards actually make me lol. So I guess it's a feel-good deck in that way. You know, adds a bit of levity to the reading. But yeah, I'm a plant bitch. So anything that's got plants and they've got great meanings, and I'm there. I'm down. You know, the aesthetics matter not too much, to be honest. It depends how much it delivers with the write-up and the breadth of cards. Like this has a lot of cards, which, yay. Which is very nice, very nice. We want lots of cards. These are all upside down now. So, yeah, there's a lot of different cultures, I guess, in this as well. So this is the Oracle of the Essences. Okay, I'll zoom in because this little button also has a picture of like a family on it. But did I choose it for the theme? No, I chose it for the color because it goes with the deck. So this one is Seasons of the Witch Beltane. These are the backs. They come with that really shiny, sharp gold edging, and they're on glossy cardstock. So look, I'm not a fan of the cardstock with this one. It's not my favorite at all. I love that this deck not only has the keyword on there, but it's also got a few sentences, like a little poem. It's very poetic, this deck, the way it's written, but I do like the write-ups in the guidebook. I don't have many of, this is the only Seasons of the Witch deck I have, because I don't know, I don't really vibe with a lot of the seasons, I guess. I think the only other one that I'd probably be interested in is Letha. I think I'd probably check that one out. I want the warm, summery, flowery kind of vibes, you know. I'm already depressed enough in like the colder months to use the Selwyn, even though I love the season of Selwyn. I don't know, for whatever reason, I just didn't really love the decks. I know that there's a new artist now and everyone is raving about the new artist that they've chosen with the Mabon or Mabon. I might see, you know, what one they do next, but yeah, this so far out of all of the Seasons of the Witch, this is the only one that really called to me. So I sort of just listened to my gut and stuck with this one. Okay, and we've got this bag. I love GSY. So this is Great Southern Yarn, and I always know which one's a Great Southern Yarn. I always know. So sad. Hopefully maybe one day they'll reopen in the future. Who knows? So we've got the golden. Sorry, I'm just dropping hair. Like I just don't care. The Golden Light Oracle. This is an indie deck. So these are the backs. It's got the shiny gold gilding. It's on a beautiful linen cardstock. So it's a lovely quality, very flexible deck. Beautiful imagery. Absolutely adore it. The guidebook is written in a way that I take and leave a lot of the information. So some of it I leave it. The more real dark, shadowy aspects of it, I don't claim those most of the time. Like I'd say 99% of the time, they don't resonate. It's the same with the keywords. Maybe half of them, I'm like, yeah, that keyword, not that one. No, thank you, sir. So I find this creator does put a lot of shadow in their decks, and some of it just is a bit too negative, slanted for me. I'm here to, you know, get some comfort, some guidance, have a good time. I don't want to leave a reading ever feeling more in despair or scared or worried or concerned, you know. So yeah, the guidebook's still beautifully well done. It's just got so much information there that some of it I just don't bother with, but I do love the way this deck looks. I think I saw it on Michelle's channel first, and I was like, oh, hello, that's beautiful and vibrant and interesting with the different keywords and themes, and I will check you out, and I'm glad I did. It's also a deck that tends to go with a lot of my other decks, so I use it quite a bit, and that is the Golden Light Oracle. Here we've got these little purple baggies. This is a real simple one. I think this is linen or moss stitch. It's a more flatter kind of stitch. And inside it, I have, I always never remember what this is called, Mystic Midnight Oracle. So these are the backs. You've got some matte gold gilding. This is a satin cardstock, you know, closer to matte, that thick kind of cardstock. This has an astrological kind of bend to it, but there are some other words here like meditation, balance, dream that are in there as well. So you've got your astrology, and then you've got some other kind of keywords to go along with it. And it's in beautiful dark purple, blue, jeweled hues. So a lot of fuchsia and amethyst and cobalt and things like that. So with the gold foiling on the front, which I think is stunning and beautiful. I don't use this deck a lot because it's got such a particular color scheme that it doesn't always go aesthetically with a lot of my decks, but I do enjoy it. So yeah, this is one of the other few mostly astrological themed decks that I have, but I do enjoy it. And it is the Mystic Midnight. So now I've got this little bag here with the button. I think most of the buttons I have tend to be purple sparkly ones in this selection of oracles. I'll put that aside. These are the backs. This is my Disco Rocks deck. I edged mine in a bunch of different colors. Didn't stick to the Make Playing cards very well. So this is my Make Playing cards version. It's on linen cardstock. I have walkthroughs for every single deck that I own on my channel. Like I said, if it isn't there, it's because it is coming. It is up and coming. So yeah, I whipped this one up quickly. I did it in Game Crafter as well because I wanted to talk about what Game Crafter was like in regards to making decks. So I used elements from the other Oracle deck that I have made, my Solace Oracle, and just made this one super fast. so I could compare and contrast. And because of that, I have now decided to pretty much go with Game Crafter moving forward, because just the price point can't be beat unless you know of another one that's even cheaper but still decent quality. Do let me know if there is one, but at the moment, yeah, Game Crafter came out the winner when it comes to printing your own decks, or selling them perhaps as well, although I know most people prefer make playing cards, but they just price them way too high, and I don't feel comfortable setting my decks at such a high price point. So yeah, this is the Disco Rocks Oracle. So now we've got this little itty bitty bag with this really cute flower bobble button. This was in, is this Star Stitch or is this Jasmine? They're so similar. Sometimes I forget which is which. I think this might be Star. I think I might have gone out of my way to do Star for this one. And this is the Botanical Blessings. This is a real homeschool kind of guidebook, pamphlet, fold out, if you will. All of the backs are like this, and these ones are not the right way. So the cardstock is really weird. I don't even know what you'd call it. I edged mine in black. They're all uneven because they're hand cut. I did not cut them. They came this way. But it's like a very, very thin, satiny, almost I guess like a magazine kind of paper. So this is an indie deck. It's a flower themed deck. So you've got the flower there. It's supposed to look like a zine. The guidebook just has like 2 sentences for each one. But you know, when it comes to plant decks, I have lower standards. Like I'm very fussy with other themed oracle decks. They have to hit a certain amount of things for me to want to keep them. But with plant decks, like, because already I like the theme, like I don't need much else, but I do really enjoy the size of this deck, and the art style I thought was really cool. So, you know, I'm happy with it, and I do tend to use it as more of a, what's the word, clarifier or supplementary deck rather than the main meat of the reading. So this one is the Botanical Blessings Oracle. So here's the next one. My youngest baby picked the button for this one. I don't think it's a match, but it kind of goes. But she just, yeah, she wanted to have a go. She's like, I want to pick a button. So how could I deny her? I did not. And this is the Thistledown Oracle. So it comes with these little sort of cards. It also comes with a PDF guidebook as well. I edged mine in a dark tealy blue to sort of mimic the thistle on the backs. The cardstock is very thick. I think it's a kind of environmentally friendly type of cardstock. It feels matte. It's not my favorite. I don't know why. I don't like the thicker kind of cardstock. So for some reason, I just don't. But the color theme here is mostly warm browns or cool blues. And it's obviously a woodland animal themed deck. I think the illustrations are absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. I do enjoy the keywords. The guidebook is okay. Like, it's not amazing, but it's okay. At the moment, I still haven't connected to this deck. So I've got it in my purgatory bin. I think I'm waiting until the cooler months now because we're in spring. So I'm thinking of busting it out in autumn and trying to find its perfect like tarot pair to see if that changes my opinion on it. But yeah, I'm not being very quick to rehome it. I think it just needs more time, different season, and a mate to really, you know, make it shine. So this is the Thistledown Oracle. Here is the next bag with the greens. It's a very green kind of bag, and inside it I have the Sacred Forest Oracle. So this is a mass market deck, and I edged mine in like a silvery bluey green, and not very well. One of my first original mods too. It took me a while to find the right textures that don't bleed. Took a few trials before I found the good ones, but it's okay. This is a matte cardstock. I think it's pretty good for a mass market deck. The imagery isn't my fave, but I don't mind it. It's so weird. I think it's because it's dark and moody that I don't mind as much that it's got this kind of modern collage style to it. It's very fairy heavy, which I do enjoy, but it's just definitely got that mystical woodland magical forest vibe to it. The write-ups are fantastic, you know, so I do love the write-ups in this one. And yeah, it just reads well. And any deck that reads well always stays for me, regardless. You know, if I resonate with the readings and it really helps me a lot, then it's earned its place. But yeah, this is the Sacred Forest Oracle. Now I've got this bag. This is one of the few, oh no, come on Nova. Okay, so now we've got this bag. Of course my cat is using the litter tray. This was, I don't even know what this stitch was, but it ended up with a scalloped edge, but it's kind of cool and I like the opalescent flex. Sorry, my cat likes to wipe her hands on the sauna door after she finishes her business. So this is the Cosmic Visions Tarot. This is an indie deck. Those are the backs. It comes edged in a matte black. I love matte colors as edging. It's my favorite type of edging. It is a beautiful rose petal soft touch matte cardstock, and it's also flexible. So this is one of those ones that it's actually great. I think I ended up saying this wasn't a great shuffler, but I think it's because I just hadn't used the deck enough and it was still clumping, whereas now it does not. So it is now a beautiful shuffler. It's funny how some decks do just need some time to wear in. Good Lord. But I freaking love this deck. So it is mostly black and white with pops of rainbow, and I dig it. I dig it so bloody much. It's obviously got a cosmic kind of style to it, but I don't find it too extraterrestrially galactic at all, to be honest. I still feel like it is quite tied to Earth. But I am in love with this deck. Every time I read with it, it's just amazing. And I do love it. I love it a lot. So this is probably one of my favorite tarots that I have. And it's the Cosmic Visions Tarot. Okay, so here is the next bag. That's what it looks like. It's greens and dark blues. And inside it, I have the Home Oracle. And these are the backs. This is an indie deck. It's got a sort of copper, but a very soft copper, shiny gilded edging, and it is a matte cardstock. It's also kind of got a limited color palette. There are a lot of blues, greens, and yellows in it. It has great keywords. The guidebook is good. It is a translated guidebook, so I always find with anything that is translated, sometimes the grammar's a bit odd, the syntax is weird, you know, you can kind of tell it's not written in English, that it has been translated into English. But yeah, this is actually a really good deck, and I was surprised by it. I didn't really have high expectations of it, but then like I said, it ended up reading really well, and it actually goes with a lot of decks, and it's just fantastic to also layer on top as a clarifier, because the keywords are just really great for clarifying. Well, I don't know why that dude's like that, but I do actually like the illustrations. I don't love all of them, but most of them I actually do enjoy. It's got a quaintness to it, I guess, and I don't mind it. Even though they've got like figures in there, I don't find those figures creepy at all, for whatever reason. And I do find lots of meaning within the illustrations. There's symbolic meanings for me in these cards. But yeah, this is the Home Oracle. So here's this bag. It's got a very cool button. This is like a half silk job. Beautiful yarn, but very drapey because of the silk. And in it, I've got the Magic and Mediums Oracle. So, I destroyed this deck. I destroyed this deck so hard, you can see all the backs have been ruined by me because marker bled. And when I tried to get it off, it just, oh, good Lord, absolutely wrecked it. And didn't even get it all off. So I did wreck it. It's a beautiful linen cardstock though. I have heavily edited the deck in that I threw away a lot of the cards. Some of the cards were just too dark. You know, for me, I don't need like demonic kind of things, and this had some of that in there, and I'm like, no, I'm just going to keep the ones that I do like and I would be happy to see in a reading. I don't want anything that is way too like confronting and, like I said, dark. For me, I don't, need to work with that kind of energy. So I left the ones that, I did like, because I said, once again, it's well written. I love the art style. I love the theme of this deck and the color story. And I love most of the write-ups in the Oracle. But yeah, I'm glad I kept it. I was half, do I just get rid of all of it? And I'm like, no, just get rid of the cards you don't like and keep the rest. I don't know why that felt like a sacrilege, but it's fine. So this is the Magic and Mediums Oracle. Okay, so now we've got this little baggie with another one of those, iridescent kind of buttons. I don't know if that's coming up. This was in Sedge Stitch, I think, which is kind of cool, but it's not a stitch that I used very much. And we've got the Obsidian Oracle. This is one of my favorite all-time oracles. It's got a beautiful embossed black Ouroboros and eye and geometric pattern on the back. It's got a shiny edging, but as you can see, the color is wearing off a little bit, and it's on a beautiful matte cardstock. And I just love the aesthetic of this deck. It speaks to my gothic heart. So it's very dark and moody, but I love the illustration style. It feels almost like a soft colored pencil. A lot of sort of nocturnal elements in this. Most of the cards do have a pairing of some sort, although as you saw, there were some moon cards and there were some ones that just had a single entity on them, but most of the time they are paired. Generally, it tends to be like a gemstone and an animal, or a plant and an animal. But I love the pairings. And I love the write-ups. I do always have to read the write-ups because I don't know what a red-winged blackbird means, or butterfly paired with honeysuckle. I don't have a lot of intuitive hits with this, but I just do love using it. The way, like I said, the way it looks, and yeah, there's nothing really like it in terms of the way that it's paired things together. It's very random, but it works. When you read it in the guidebook, you're like, aha, I see why you did that. And I love this one too. So random, a unicorn floaty with macarons. Yeah, it's random, but I enjoy it. So this is the Obsidian Oracle. Okay, in this really bad bag. Oh, it's a bag I hate the most. What is this stitch? This stitch was, you can see it, like I stopped doing it and then I went back onto it. It was a pain. It did not work well for a bag. I don't even know what you call it. I think is it camel stitch? Where it's just like rows and rows of this kind of look, almost like a knitted look. I think it's camel, but it did not work for as an oracle bag whatsoever. And I think I messed it up a few times. It was a stitch I never done before, and it was just actually painful to do. It was too tight. So this is the Citadel Oracle. I believe this was originally an indie deck. It is now mass market. I edged mine in a red. It is a limited color palette deck, and it's on a I guess a satin cardstock, but I don't love this cardstock. It's one that feels a bit cheapy, even though it's beautiful foiling on the front. It is lovely. This was a deck that I took forever to pull the trigger on. I just had no, I don't know, it just didn't draw me in. It's got kind of archetypes, and you've got a few keywords on the front. I think it's to do with gaming, like actual gaming as well. You can play it as a game, not just use it as a divinatory oracle deck. But yes, so many people were singing its praises. This is one of those few cases where I was swayed by the masses. So I did fall prey to FOMO with this one. I'm like, everybody else loves it, and I bought into the hype. Do I love it? No. But do I like it? Yes, I do. Will I keep it forever? Not sure. It depends. It depends on, if it ends up becoming endeared to me or not. At the moment, like I said, I like it. I'm not in love with it, but it does work. It does read well. I don't mind the weird card shape. I think it still shuffles just fine. And I do like the illustrations, but for whatever reason, I'm just not enamored with it. But this is the Citadel Oracle. So here we've got this very super duper colorful bag with a sprinkles button, which I love. I've gone for color because this, even though the deck itself is not colorful, its theme is meant to be. And this is the energetics of color. So it doesn't suit the backs whatsoever, or even the fronts. You've got matte gold edging. I don't really love the backs, to be honest. And it's on a very thick luxe satin cardstock. And I love this deck, even though I don't like I said, modern photo collage decks. I love this deck. It's just, there's so many cards, first of all. There's so many wonderful shades. I love the colors that they've paired with the keywords. But for me, what is amazing about this deck is the guidebook. So it's got a meaning here, then it's got a physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and an affirmation. So it's fantastic. Sometimes you can just pull cards wanting a specific reading for that message, or you might use it as a whole, but I think the guidebook is fantastic. And it is my favorite color deck that I've had. I've tried a few different ones and I've let them all go, because sometimes when I have a deck that just does it so perfectly, I don't feel the need for other ones if they aren't also stellar. Like if they're just average, I'm like, well, why do I need them? If I'm going to pull out a color deck, I'm going to go for this one. you know. So, and this one had, like I said, had some really interesting shades rather than just the stock standard. And I say that, and then green comes up. But here you got periwinkle, and you got blue and rose. But it does, trust me, it does have some interesting, you know, shades in there as well. But yeah, I do enjoy it, and it is the color of energetics. Okay, so here is this bag. Once again, another Sprinkles button, but slightly different. This one's more pastels. I did this in a is it Jasmine or Trinity Stitch? Just say Trinity Stitch, which is becoming my new go-to bag stitch because it's easy, it's quick, and it's pretty. And in it, I've got the Modern Nirvana Oracle. So this deck, I originally, I've edged mine in that salmon pink. And I thought, I'm so happy with that choice. I was like, oh, what do I do? Which color? And I'm glad I went with the salmon pink. I actually originally pre-ordered this deck and it just kept not coming. So I pre-ordered it, it never came. And then it was released mass market and I still hadn't got my pre-order. And then I was emailing them. They're like, oh, we're so sorry. There's been some sort of error. We'll get it shipped to you. And then months go by, still hadn't shipped. And I'm like, just cancel it. Just bloody cancel it. I'm just going to go and buy it. And I did. So I didn't get this pre-order. I ended up getting it much after the fact. And how do I feel about it? I am not sure. So I'm not super happy with the quality of the book. The spine's already cracked. And I don't know how long this will last before the glue ends up, the papers all separate. So this is written by multiple people. And you sort of can tell they all have like their unique style. This deck also has sigils combined with it. I don't feel like the artwork on the sigils is as cool as the artwork on the other cards. I like it more with the other cards than I do on the sigil cards. It is interesting though, in the themes and the subject matter. Like I said, I do generally like the art style. It's got that very thick, I'm not a big fan of the thick cardstock. I don't like thick cardstock, but it's got the thick satin cardstock. And I don't know, this is one of those ones where I'm also needing to do more work with it. You know, I don't love it, I don't dislike it. I need to work with it more and see, you know, if it's something I'm going to keep or if it's something I'm not going to keep. But this was the last deck for this part of my Oracle collection, the Modern Nirvana Oracle. Until next time, stay wild, Star Child.